The boy whispered, "Spare my sister. Take me instead." The rancher's response shocked them both. The wind howled across the dusty plains of West Texas like a ghost mourning a forgotten past. Dust devils swirled around the weathered fence posts of the Callahan Ranch, where cattle lowed in the distance and the sun hung low, casting long shadows over the dry earth. It was here, on the edge of that unforgiving land, that 8-year-old Eli stood trembling, his small frame dwarfed by the towering figure before him. Eli's bare feet were caked in mud, his threadbare shirt torn at the shoulder. Beside him, his 6-year-old sister, Lily, clutched a ragged doll with one eye missing and yarn for hair. Her cheeks were streaked with tears, her breath hitching in silent sobs. They hadn't eaten in 2 days. Their mother had passed away weeks ago from fever, and their father, well, no one spoke of him anymore. They'd come to the ranch out of desperation. Word had spread that old Jedediah Callahan paid fair wages for odd jobs, mending fences, feeding stock, cleaning stables. But Jedediah wasn't known for mercy. He was a man carved from stone and sunburn, with calloused hands and eyes that had seen too much drought and too many broken promises. Folks said he hadn't smiled since his wife died 20 years back. Eli had heard the rumors, but hunger had a way of silencing fear. When they reached the ranch house, Jedediah stood on the porch, arms crossed, squinting against the late afternoon sun. He took one look at the scrawny boy and the weeping girl and grunted, "Ain't got no work for children." Eli's heart sank, but then he remembered Lily's hollow eyes that morning, the way she'd curled into herself like a wilted flower. He stepped forward, his voice barely above a whisper, but steady with resolve. "Spare my sister. Take me instead." The words hum in the air, fragile yet fierce. Lily clutched his arm, but Eli didn't look down. He kept his gaze locked on the rancher, his small chest rising and falling with each breath. Jedediah didn't move. For a long moment, silence stretched between them, only the wind and the distant cry of a hawk breaking the stillness. Then slowly, the rancher uncrossed his arms. He stepped down from the porch, boots crunching on the gravel. Eli braced himself, expecting a harsh word, a shove, maybe even a belt. But what came next stunned them both. Jedediah knelt, something no one in these parts had ever seen him do, and looked Eli straight in the eyes. His voice, usually gruff as gravel, softened like worn leather. "You got grit, boy, but I don't take children. I take family." Eli blinked, confused. "Family, sir?" Jedediah stood, turned, and pointed toward the house. "You and your sister. Come on in. Supper's near ready." Lily gasped. Eli's knees nearly buckled with relief. Inside the ranch house, warmth wrapped around them like a quilt. The smell of stew and fresh baked cornbread filled the air. On the table sat 2 bowls, 2 spoons, and 2 glasses of milk, already poured. Over the next few weeks, something miraculous unfolded. Jedediah didn't just feed them. He taught Eli how to mend fences, how to read the sky for rain, how to gentle a spooked calf. Lily, once silent and withdrawn, began to laugh again, chasing chickens and helping in the kitchen. Jedediah even carved her a new doll from mesquite wood, its eyes smooth and kind. Neighbors whispered, "Old Callahan's gone soft," they said. But Jedediah didn't care. He'd spent decades building walls around his heart, but that day a boy's courage had torn them down with 3 simple words: "Take me instead." One evening, as the sun bled gold across the horizon, Jedediah sat on the porch with Eli beside him. The Eli stared out at the herd grazing peacefully. "Why'd you do it, sir? Why take us in?" Jedediah was silent for a long time. Then he said, "When I was about your age, my little brother got sick. I begged the town doctor to help him, offered to work for free, anything, but the man turned us away. My brother, he didn't make it." He swallowed hard. "I swore I'd never let another child feel that helpless again." Eli looked up at him, eyes wide. "You saved us." "No, son," Jedediah said, placing a heavy but gentle hand on the boy's shoulder. "You saved me." Years later, when Eli was grown and running the ranch alongside the man he called Pa, he'd tell this story to wide-eyed visitors. He'd point to the porch where it all began and say, "Kindness doesn't always wear a smile. Sometimes it wears boots, a worn hat, and a heart that remembers what it's like to be small and scared." And Lily? She became a school teacher in the very town that once whispered about her. Every year, on the anniversary of that dusty afternoon, she'd bring her students to the Callahan Ranch to learn about courage, sacrifice, and the quiet power of compassion. Because sometimes the greatest heroes aren't the ones who roar, they're the ones who kneel. And in that single, sun-scorched moment, a hardened rancher chose love over loneliness, family over fear, and in doing so, gave 2 lost children and himself a second chance at life. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe. Sometimes the smallest act of bravery can change everything. Thanks for watching.